Hey guys, Darren here from the Music Vault. Thought I would do a video. I normally would have music going, but where I am, the speaker's right in my ear, and I'd have to turn it down to almost nothing so you'd be able to hear me. And I figured, you know what? I'm not going to bother. I'm doing this video from a different angle of the room. Behind me here is what I call the behemoth. I just made it. I built it, well, my dad and I built it about a week ago. As you see, it is all my CDs from A, which is about there, to the start of J, which is down in the corner. It holds almost 600 CDs. Because I'm dealing with room now. My collection's starting to get a tad on the big side in terms of space and what the space I have to what the stuff actually takes up. So I got rid of, I think, four big racks, two that hold 200 each. The one holds, I think, 120, and the other one is probably around 225, 250. So I had all these little small racks like that. Have these, like this one back here that I have up here. I have those digibooks that I started to buy. I have them in there because they don't fit into regular slots. And these three silver ones right here are live Rush Snakes and Arrows bootleg video. So they're up there too because they don't fit in the racks. Anyways, I wanted to do a room tour, and I wanted to get my room up, and it's 99.9% there. This thing had to be built before I did my room tour, because then things looked mismatched. But now everything is falling into place exactly the way I want, and the walls are 3/7/8 filled. I got a couple of spots, one spot over there, and a spot up at the top of the stairs. I just put my thing up top there, a picture. So yeah. Oh, and I got a spot right over there. So I'm really, it's turning out the way I wanted. My guitars are hanging and bass and that. But anyways, I digress. This video is what I picked up today. Today's my day off from work. And last night I'm thinking, laying around, what am I going to do tomorrow? And then boom, I'm going to go to Niagara Records. That's why this is titled Niagara Records. And I grabbed, I don't know how many, but Chris has got a spot in there called Digger's Paradise. And in there, it's all like albums from $1 to $2, some $3, some $4, the odd $5 one, because most of those are put into the regular bins. But these ones are usually when he's got a real big overflow of these albums. He sticks them in for between $1 and $4 in there, depending on the shape. Some are really good. The vinyl's usually in good shape. Sometimes the album cover's kind of a little bit worn, but it's fun to dig through anyways, and pick up some stuff. You never know what you're going to find. That's the beauty part about going up there. You just never know what you're going to find. Anyways, first up on the chopping block, Jefferson's Starship with Spitfire. I've never heard this album. I don't know what's on it. I just know that it's Jefferson Airplane, which turned into Jefferson Starship, which then turned into Starship. I don't know if anybody has heard it. Let me know. It was $2. Still has a price tag on it. It's $2, and then the alt vinyl's in awesome shape. Jacket's in decent shape. But I figured, you know what? For $2, everybody likes Jefferson Airplane, Jefferson Starship. This one I picked up just because I couldn't leave it in there. If not keeping it, I'll give it to my best mate. That's Frank Marino and Mahogany Rush. I'm gonna throw this on the table in a minute. I just from Montreal, like, but I couldn't leave it in there knowing that I could give it to somebody that I know, like my best friend Chris. He would really get into that. This has All Along the Watchtower. I know that Frank was influenced hugely by Jimi Hendrix. Another one I got for $2, Street Heart, Drugstore Dancer. Another Canadian band. I want to say, yeah, I believe these guys are a Canadian band. This is a Canadian pressing, I believe. I don't have my glasses on. Yes, it is. As soon as I see the name or the word Canada in there, you know it's Canadian pressing. But this is just standard black vinyl. I mean, probably an original pressing, you know, but picked it up for $2. Picked this one up. I know who he is. Never heard any of his stuff. I know he's a guitar great and was in Procol Harum, I believe. At one point, Robin Trower. And I said to Chris up there, "What do you think?" He says, "Yeah, it's a great album. Pick it up." And it was, I think, $3 or $2 or something like that. Another one I know of. I've only heard one song, and this is Manfred Mann and the Earth Band, Solar Fire, and this has drummer extraordinaire Chris Slade. Many of you know him from AC/DC, and he was on, what album was he on? Walking the Razor's Edge. He was on a couple live albums and that, and I know he did the Rock or Bust tour. But I want to say Walking the Razor's Edge. Could be wrong. Could be right. This one I picked up on a whim. I know the band. I've heard some stuff. Wasn't too all. But I spotted this in mint condition. And you can go on, like on my phone, I have the YouTube Music app. Clicked on that, brought this album up, clicked it, listened to the first 30 seconds of the one song, loved it, picked the album up. I think it was $4, and that is Roxy Music, Avalon. And when I was talking to Chris, he said this is probably his favorite album. He says just beautiful album, and I played it already, and it is a great album. Very much in the vein of the 80s, kind of, I wouldn't say progressive rock, but kind of new wave rock. I mean, these guys influenced a lot of the English punk stuff, English new wave, glam rock kind of stuff, and this album is a really good album. I mean, I won't play it every day, but it'd be one that I'll probably go, oh yeah, Roxy Music, yeah, let's throw this one on. Because it's such a nice album. It's such a great album. Good album. Another one I know nothing about. Just know the band, Procol Harum. And this is the Symphony Orchestra. Just a second. in concert with the Edmonton Symphony Orchestra, and this was recorded in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, my home country, in 1971. So, yeah. So I figured I think this one was $3 or whatever, and like I said, I don't. I think I have one Procol Harum album. Is it The Whiter Shade of Pale? I think is the one that's on the album I have. Moxie. This is Canadian pressing. I don't know if this is their first album, second album. I have 2 copies of Rising High or High Rising. Can't remember the name of it. One with the eagle on the front. There's Canadian rock. I want to say they're Canadian. Just 70s, 80s style. There's probably 70s on this one. I haven't heard this one. I haven't thrown it on the table yet. I just know of this band, and I know other guys in the VC like it, and so I figured, you know what, I'll just pick it up anyways. It was cheap, and if I don't like it, it's not a big deal. Grand Funk Live double vinyl. It has this blue tape on the front, but or on the spine. But other than that, this album is in perfect condition. I mean, some ring wear. I mean, what year did this come out? I can't even see it because I'm half blind. But I want to say came out in the 70s. So if this came out in the 70s, I mean, it's over 30 years old. I mean, it's stood the test of time other than the spine wear. The second last one, I picked this one up because this is the original album cover. I have the new version album cover, which probably is like second or third pressing. But this is the original album cover, and it was in great shape, so I picked it up. Triumph Rock and Roll Machine. And yeah, like I said, I have both copies. This is just the original album cover. And the last one that I picked up today was not a grail. Like, it was an album that I wanted to pick up. I love this band. I have lots of their other stuff on vinyl, probably about 10 albums on vinyl. These guys have been around since 1969, so 50 years. This album came out in 71. This is the very first album from April Wine. And this was, I should say, on my want list. And I always looked for it when I went into Chris's shop. And I walked in there, and there it was, finally, sitting on. He displays the ones that he's selling for a bit more than $5 or $10. This one was, maybe you can see it, $40 price tag with a very rare first album sticker on it. I'll leave those stickers on there just because. But this album is in absolutely mint condition. I played it already, other than a little bit of dust. The jacket is in near mint condition, other than the little tick there. So I would say very good, plus to near mint. The vinyl is near mint. But if you're looking for the April Wine of the I Want to Rock, or I Like to Rock, What a Night, Sign of the Gypsy Queen. You're not going to get it here. Not on this album, no. This is very much a 60s sounding rock record. You would have to listen to it to know what I'm talking about. Those that really know 60s music are going to know what it's like. It's not the hard rock kind of arena driven anthems like Sign of the Gypsy Queen or I Like to Rock or Ooh What a Night. Like those aren't even in the same ballpark. Although those are amazing tracks, not in the same ballpark as this record. It's completely different styles. But you can tell they're morphing into, like, they started out as a hard rock band and just kind of morphed into, a hard rock band, if you know what I mean. Different sound. Myles Goodwyn is the singer. The only original member of April Wine, and his vocal style is very distinct. So that's really kind of what puts this release, their first album, in league with the rest of their catalog, is because of Myles Goodwyn and the vocals. Although on side 2 there is one of the songs that is sung by another guy who to me can't sing, as well as Myles Goodwyn. Myles Goodwyn is to me the vocalist for April Wine. He is the sound of April Wine. Anyways, this isn't. I mean, it is a Canadian pressing probably because it's on Aquarius Records. And Aquarius Records, if I remember correctly, is a Canadian record label. Although the jacket seems very flimsy, like very thin, like almost like an English UK import. To me the UK imports were very thin cardboard as opposed to the thicker kind of sounding. It's not quite as thick as some of the 60s. Like it was like almost like you could put it like this and set a drink on it. Like the vinyl, the cardboard was so thick. But this is quite a bit thinner. Anyways, so this is the very first April Wine record. I know that some people on watching will be a bit jealous. I'm just kidding. But yeah, April Wine. April Wine, April Wine. What can I say? Anyways, that will do it for this video. I got a couple of CDs and that there, but I can't remember what I grabbed. I have some Judas Priest reissues coming in the mail to go with the rest of the remasters that I'm now collecting, those 13 Judas Priest remasters, as well as the Iron Maiden remasters as well. The ones when you put the spine together and it has a picture of Eddie on it, and the Judas Priest has a picture of that Hellion symbol or whatever. So I'm in the process of buying all of those up from those two bands. Anyways, 18 minutes is long enough of my ramblings, and I will talk to you guys later. See ya.